Hi everybody, this is part 2 graphing. In part 1, I showed you how to find these averages using Google Sheets as well as setting the graph up and finding these the scale and the interval. So if you're kind of unsure how to do that, go back and watch part 1 and then come back here. In this part of the graphing, we are going to see how to plot your data points. So like how to put them on the graph now that you have everything all set up. All right, so let's start with that. Once again, I'm going to use split screen because I don't want to have to scroll up and down, up and down. And so since I've already set up my Google Sheet, I'm going to go back to that. So I'm going to go to split screen. I also made a couple changes to my Google Sheet since we last met. I put in all of my data here, but for right now, for ease of use, I'm gonna kind of make these small so that I can't really see them. Okay, because what I'm going to be graphing is my independent variables and my dependent variables over here. Okay, and the averages or the trials we're going to ignore because we just use them to find this, to reduce the amount of data points that we have. If you want to graph all of the things, like, that's cool too. All right, so I'm going to go back over to my graph. I'm going to select the draw tool. I'm going to change the stroke thickness to like either 4 or 6. I'm going to choose, we'll do 6. And then I'm going to change the color because why not? Let's go to more colors. Whoa, look at all those colors. Yay! I'm going to choose the yellow one because I like it. All right. Now, my first data point is 20, 15.7. In math, you sometimes hear these called ordered pairs. And so what that means is 20 is my x value, 15.7 is my y value. So if you notice, I'm back over on the graph, I've got a little crosshair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my x-axis and I'm going to kind of go over to about where 20 is. And so I went by 3s, and so this is 15, which makes that 18, and that's 21. And so 20 is going to be about here. Okay, so I'm going to place it where 20 is on that line. And I'm going to use 2 fingers to scroll. And I'm going to do my best to just go up or down. And so I need to go up to 15.7 because that is what it says over here. All right, so back over to about 20, 2 finger scroll. All right, I'm gonna kind of go slow and check. And so that first line is about 10 that I'm coming to, and I went by 2. So 10, 12, 14, 16. So 15.7 is gonna be about here. Now, I realize the screen kind of goes everywhere and it's a little difficult. As long as you get it as close as possible, all right? So once I'm there, I'm just going to click, and there's my first data point. If you want to take it a step further to just make sure you are correct when I'm looking at it, or when Ms. Johnson's looking at it, you can write your point. So I'll open parentheses, 20, which was my x value, comma, 15.7. which was my y value, because then I can double check. So I went over to about 20 and up to about 15, and there's my first data point. Okay, my second data point, according to this, is 40, 31.7. So I'm gonna go back to my draw tool. I'm gonna go over to about 40. So if I'm going by 3s, right, 39, 40, 41, this is 42. Right, so 40 is going to be a little bit closer to 39. And I got to go up to 31.7. So I'm going to 2 finger scroll up to about 31.7. And so this line is 30. And I went by 2. So that means this line is 32. So 31.7 is about there. Dot. Once again, if you just want to hedge your bets, 40, comma, 31.7. And there's my ordered pair, which shows me that you know where you're putting stuff, right? And that's kind of it, right? You just go and you finish your points and then you're graphed. Just to make sure that you did it right the first time. What you can also do is you can go to shapes, go to line, and you can draw two lines, right? And so if this is, I'm saying this is about 20, I can draw a line, and it gives you an angle. If you look at the line, it says 0.0. That means that my line is exactly up and down. If I do this, 0.1, that means it's kind of tilted. That's no good, so 0.0. Okay, and then I want it to be at 50.7, so I can go, that's 12, 14, so I said 15 a little bit here. And once again, I want it to say 0. And we can see that my point is basically where those two lines intersect, which is what you're looking for. You don't have to do the line thing, but if for the first time you're a little unsure, it's kind of a helpful tool. Just because, right, if you look over here, there starts to be a lot of empty space and your eyes might start to get a little crazy. Okay, that's kind of it for part 2. If you have questions, please let us know. Remember, your details should be more than 50% of your page. You need a title. You need to have your axis labels, which I have here, ball drop height, ball bounce height. You need to have your interval, which means even spacing, which I have even spacing. Label your units. I have my units labeled centimeters and centimeters. And I have a scale. Down here I'm going by 3s. Up here I'm going by 2s. When you make all that checklist, you're good to go. All right. Thanks for your time, everybody. Keep it real. Peace, love, and prosperity.